Today I'm going to share a full review of Happy Cheetah Reading's kindergarten reading program. I will talk about all of the pros, cons, and all of our experience after using this program for the last 6 months. Will we keep using Happy Cheetah moving into first grade? Let's find out. All right, so if you are new around here, my name is Sarah, and I am the homeschool mom of 5 kids. They are currently ages 13, 12, 7, 3, and 1. I have been homeschooling for almost 10 years now, and today I'm going to be talking about a curriculum that I used with my daughter, Mariah, Happy Cheetah Reading, the kindergarten program. So last spring, I posted a video introducing you guys to Happy Cheetah Reading. In that video, my daughter Mariah, who was 6 at the time, did an unboxing and a flip through of the kindergarten reading program. I will make sure to link that video down below. Definitely go check it out if you want more information about Happy Cheetah. Now, if you have never heard of this curriculum, if you have not heard of Happy Cheetah Reading, you are not alone. It is an all-in-one language arts curriculum that just hit the market in 2020. And even though this curriculum is new, the methods used in it are not. Dr. Karen Halinga is the author of this program. You may have heard of her before. She is also the creator of Spelling UC. Well, she used all of her experience as a classroom teacher, a homeschool parent, and her doctorate in developmental reading curriculum to create this program, to create Happy Cheetah Reading. So there is so much experience and data put into this curriculum, even though it's new to the market. But real quick, full disclosure, I should put a little disclaimer here. We do know Dr. Karen Halinga. She lives here locally to us, and we have visited her reading clinic. We've done some reading tutoring with her for our son Noah. She is also the person that we hire every year to do our homeschool assessments that are required here in our state. So we have seen Dr. Karen every year for, gosh, almost the last decade now. So we do have that relationship, but Dr. Karen, Happy Cheetah is not sponsoring this video. They probably don't even know I'm making this video. They have not sponsored this, sent me anything. I bought this curriculum with my own money. Everything that I am sharing today is my honest and true opinion. All right, so let's talk about the basics. Happy Cheetah Reading is an all-in-one, open and go language arts curriculum. It is meant to be done with your child in 20 minutes a day. Its price is currently $159 for the entire kindergarten program. Now, you can also purchase all of the Happy Cheetah levels, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, the full curriculum package for $399 or $400 for all of the levels all together. You can go back and watch my full unboxing video to really get more information about what's included in the kindergarten package. But very quickly, when you purchase this level, you are going to get 2 workbooks. I don't actually own the first one. It is called the Getting Ready Workbook. The second workbook in the level is this one right here. It is called Cub Starting Workbook. This workbook is paired with 3 readers that your child will work on reading aloud. Number 1 is My Family. Number 2 is Nana and Papa. And number 3 is Things I Like. You will also receive this, I have it upside down, this magnetic letter board. It's a dry erase and magnet board. It's blank on one side and then has lines on the other. And it comes along with an alphabet set of magnet letters. Now, this blue box does not come with it. This is just a Dollar Tree pencil box that I got for $1. But I store all of our letters in this. It comes with all of these magnetic letters. The consonants are blue and the vowels and the Y are red. So I can just show you here. You can see that there's a blank box, a single line box, and then this double line box. This will kind of remind you of handwriting without tears style of writing, but your magnets will fit right here on the lines just perfectly for your child to go ahead and build words. It also comes along with a couple of dry erase markers that have erasers built into the top. We've already completely used them up, or I would show them to you. There are also 3 sets of what they called card game sets, but essentially they are just white flashcards that have different words that you will be learning as you are going through the program on them here. There are 3 different sets. You can tell the difference between the sets because they will have these little cheetah spots down in the corner, 1 for the first pack, 2 for the second, and then as you can see, this is the 3rd set, so there's 3 little happy cheetah spots down in the corner. You will also get these alphabet tracing cards. These are just laminated alphabet cards that have, a picture, a word, and your capital and lowercase letters on the front. And then it has this nice little tracing card on the back where your child can copy and work on their handwriting and letter formations. So you have all of your letters A through Z on this ring here. It's kind of nice it comes on a ring so they can all stay together. We didn't lose any this way. So I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about our personal experience with this curriculum. First of all, I ordered this package as soon as it hit the market within the first couple of weeks. And pretty much as soon as I received it in the mail, Happy Cheetah kind of repackaged, reorganized the way they were structuring their units. So what I'm showing you here was actually called the Remedial Reading Package. This is why I do not own the Getting Ready Prep, wait, is that what it's called? Yeah, Getting Ready Prep workbook. We do not have that one because from what I've read online, it has 5 sections to it. It goes through and teaches your child how to write their uppercase and lowercase letters, as well as their numbers and their name. It goes over basic letter sounds, as well as doing spelling of short vowel words. So for instance, cat, C-A-T, or mug, M-U-G. Those are all things that Mariah had already kind of honed in and had skills in, and so she was ready to start in the number 1 workbook here, this Cub starting workbook. So really, we kind of started smack dab in the middle of what would be the kindergarten program. Mariah is 7. I consider her to be in 1st grade, but I really was intentional about wanting to make sure she was really strong in her phonics. I really want to go slowly with teaching her to read and build a lot of confidence. I do not want to rush things. And so that's why I was totally fine with using a kindergarten curriculum, even though I consider her to be in 1st grade. We started this workbook back in September and Mariah completed it at about mid-February. We worked on it about 3 to 4 days a week and it took us, that long to cover all 90 lessons. Most days, I will be honest, we did do 2 lessons, not just 1. But I would not recommend you to do that if your child is in kindergarten. If you are using this with an older child like I am, you could go through it a little bit faster. But if you are using this curriculum with a kindergartner, I would definitely only recommend doing 1 lesson per day. Now, we definitely slowed down towards the end, about the last 20 lessons or so, the ones that were paired with this last book, Things I Like. These were a little bit more challenging for Mariah, probably because we were getting right, into where her reading level actually is. And so we did slow down and only do 1 lesson a day for that last month or so. Now, full disclosure, I also paired this curriculum with some other readers that I already had on hand, some readers from Sing, Spell, Read, and Write, and some readers from Sunlight. These were readers that I used with my older kids, and I feel like they've just become a little bit of our family culture, and I really just wanted to read them with Mariah as well. Now, I just want to go through here real quick and kind of do a double lesson with you so you can really get a feel for what our days looked like. Okay, so I'm going to show you lessons 59 and 60. So to start out here, the first thing we would do is the box called Read. And on this, it would ask Mariah to read aloud the stories from the Nana and Papa book. She would be reading Fixing Things, Nana Dresses Up, and Papa's Box. She would also be asked to read the first story out of Things I Like, which is I Like the Beach. Now, I should note, Previous to her reading these aloud, she has heard these stories read to her by me and has been reading them over and over and over again. So they're very familiar to her at this point. As soon as she reads all 4 of those stories, we check the box for the read box and move on to the next step. The next activity is magnetic letters. And so we would get out our white magnetic board and our magnet letters, and we would build the words sand, send, band, and bend. Now, when we first started in the workbook, a lot of times I would build these words and I would have Mariah read them to me. By the end of the workbook, Mariah really enjoyed kind of using it almost as a spelling practice, and she would like to try to build the words on her own. It was one of her favorite things to do. After we are done with magnetic letters, we move on to game time. Now, this involves those white flashcard cards that I shared with you, and it gives you several options on here of different games that you can play. You can mix up the words into different silly sentences. You can time yourself. You could do a bingo type of game. Well, Mariah actually wasn't really interested in a lot of those game options. She really enjoyed just using the game as a flashcard and just kind of seeing how many she could get right in 3 minutes. Or sometimes she would want to take all of the flashcards and group them together into the different stories, or put all the color words together and put all of the construction words together and things like that. So she kind of just made up her own games as we went, but we never spent more than about 3 or 4 minutes on game time. The next section is called Read Again, and this is where Mariah would be asked to read the story again, but this time she's reading it from the workbook, and she only has 1 illustration to read as context rather than an illustration for every single sentence. And so this is definitely a little bit more challenging and will help you really determine how well your child is doing at reading these words without the pictures as a cue. After that, we move on to Think and Do, and these are just, 4 different boxes of activities. The first one, it has Mariah circle the sentence that sounds right. The next one asks her to cross out the word that does not belong. Then it has her underline all of the vowels in the words. And then lastly, again, circle the sentence that looks right. And so these are kind of some basic grammar concepts, just kind of understanding some sentence structure and making sure things are visually looking right and sounding right. Other lessons would do rhyming words and capitalization practice. Mariah definitely enjoyed doing the underlining of the vowels. This kind of reminds me of Spelling You See's letter chunking. So this was just a really fun activity for her, and I can definitely see that Dr. Karen Halinga is the author of both of these curriculums. After that, Mariah moves on to copy work, and this is something that she's able to do pretty much independently, but I would stick around just to make sure that she was taking her time, not rushing through it too fast, and I would just really watch to make sure she was doing all of those letter formations correctly, that she was doing 1-stroke letters wherever possible. Again, this copy work reminds me a lot of Handwriting Without Tears. It has that 2-line handwriting structure rather than the 2 lines with the dashed line in the middle, which is what we definitely prefer here in our house. Now, normally that would be the end of the lesson, but like I said, we are doubling up, and so Mariah and I would then move on to lesson 60. Now, in lesson 60, it would ask her to read. We would always skip that because we already did our reading aloud that day. The next one is letter boxes, and this is the part that we really focused in on for the second part of our lesson, and this is just working on spelling, where I am dictating different spelling words for her. In this one, there are 9 spelling words, and this was something that was kind of hidden to me. I didn't notice for several lessons. The spelling words are in the bottom right-hand corner of the opposite page. So I wasn't really sure where I was dictating those from at first, but that's where you can find them to dictate, is right there. Now, this structure reminds me so much of Spelling You See, where you are sounding out each letter individually for your child. So for instance, the first word is bat. I would go ba-at. Can you spell the word bat? Ba-at. And oftentimes it would, give her the shaded box or even give her the vowel as a help. Once we're finished with that, we check off the letter boxes and we move on to one more page of copy work. Now, I could see that this could maybe be overwhelming if you were doubling up lessons. That would be a lot of copy work maybe for your child, but Mariah likes copy work, so she didn't mind doing it twice. And that is the end. We were always able to get both lessons done in less than 30 minutes. We could definitely do one lesson in 20 minutes. So Happy Cheetah does stand by its promise. We never spent more than 20 minutes on language arts. All right, so let's talk about the pros of this curriculum. First of all, it is definitely an all-in-one language arts curriculum. It covers reading, writing, phonics, spelling, handwriting, grammar. Everything that you would need for kindergarten is definitely included in this curriculum. It is open and go. There's no prep work. I never had to do anything except for pull out our workbooks and follow the instructions. And so definitely not having any teacher prep is one of my favorite pros for this curriculum. As I said before, we were always able to get our lessons done in 20 minutes a day and 30 minutes a day if we were doubling up. So it's a very simple, fast curriculum to use. I definitely love the simplicity and the repetitiveness of the lessons. The structure of each lesson is very similar, and so this makes it very predictable and very reliable for both myself and my child. That being said, because there are a lot of different activities and a lot of different types of activities, I feel like this curriculum fits really well for all types of learning styles. There are visual components, auditory components, and a lot of hands-on components. And so Mariah, my daughter, she's definitely a hands-on learner, and this worked really, really well for her. This curriculum definitely uses a combination of phonics with sight words. I never really clearly read that in any of the materials, but as I've used it, I definitely feel that combination of sight word and phonics, which I appreciate. One of the other things that I really like about this program is all of the reading is based on reading from context. It has me read her stories aloud to her so that she is familiar with them before she tries to read them on her own. Everything she is doing in her workbook, the copy work, the games, the magnetic letters, are all words that are drawn from the stories that she is reading aloud from. So everything is connected. This repetition, this reading from context definitely builds confidence very, very quickly. I never had a day where Mariah felt overwhelmed or upset, like she couldn't figure something out. Everything always felt very familiar and very easy to her, which is exactly how I want learning to read to be. Okay, so let's move on to some cons. There's definitely some things that maybe are not my favorite about this curriculum. First of all, the word choices on the workbooks and the materials in general. I have a really hard time remembering the different names of the books. You can tell that just by me filming this today. Cub Starting Workbook, Workbook Prep, even these, alphabet cards, Cheetah Cub, Cheery Practice, Dry Erase, Alphabet Tracing Cards. All of the titles are just a little bit wordy and it can be a little bit confusing. I would also say that just, this being the #1 workbook and being for kindergarten, and then moving into the next levels, I don't know, just kind of the wording and the numbers and the organization of the levels, it's a little bit confusing. Now, I will say, once I got on their website and perused and really familiarized myself, I was able to, get to know the products and know what I needed and know what they were called. But I just wish that the titles of things were a little bit more simple, a little bit easier to say. Another con that I would mention, and this is something I've mentioned when I've talked about spelling UC, is that with Happy Cheetah, it was a little bit difficult for me to tell if Mariah was making progress, if she was actually honing and developing reading and phonics skills, or if she was just simply memorizing these readers and being able to remember the words and tell me the, story from the pictures. So I just had a hard time gauging how much progress she was actually making, even though we were making progress through the workbook just fine. I would say it took a good 3 or 4 months into the program for me to start seeing what she was learning in Happy Cheetah, to to start translating into other subjects in school. And so just like with Spelling UC, I feel like Happy Cheetah is one of those programs where you just kind of have to trust in the process. It is not a sprint, it is a marathon. And so sometimes you're not going to see a lot of progress, and then other times you'll see it in leaps and bounds. And so I would just encourage you, as I've encouraged myself along the way, to just be patient and keep at it and look for that slow, steady progress. Another con is that I wish that the magnetic letters, first of all, I wish they came in a better case, although this pencil box is working just fine. I also wish that there were more of them. I wish I had maybe double the amount of letters. I know that maybe I'm not needing them right now to spell the words we're working on, but I could see us wanting to use these maybe down the road into other levels. Plus, just being honest, with 5 kids around here, with a toddler, with a baby, it's very easy for us to lose things or misplace things or drop things. And so having extra letters would definitely be beneficial. I should look on Happy Cheetah's website. I wonder if I could maybe just buy another set of these just on their own a la carte. I'll look into that, but I wish there were more letters included in the level. Another thing that, again, I'm probably being super picky about, but it's just something that has bugged me along the way. I wish that the font in the Think and Do sections was larger, especially compared to this Read It Again section where the font is nice and large. These Think and Do words are really small, especially when they are doing those underline the vowel activities. Mariah sometimes had a hard time really differentiating, like if she was having to do the word like and just underlining I and not L-I or I and K. So I just wish this font was a little bit bigger. Another con about this program is that I wish that there was a suggested read aloud list to go along with it. As much as I would say that this is an all-in-one language arts curriculum, I would say that you definitely should be pairing this with reading aloud to your child. And so I wish, especially for maybe new homeschoolers who don't know what books are appropriate to read for kindergartners and first graders, I wish that there was just, maybe a page in the back of the book that gave some suggested read alouds to do with your child. Now, this is not my first rodeo. I've been homeschooling for almost a decade now, and I have book baskets and unit study books that we've been working through. So Mariah definitely had a lot of read aloud time throughout this year, but that's just something, I'm probably being nitpicky. I wish that they would produce some type of read aloud suggestion list to go along with this. Overall, as I'm sure you can tell by the content in this video, we love Happy Cheetah Reading. We have really enjoyed this program, and Mariah has definitely done really, really well with it. Yes, we will be using this. We're going to continue working through into the first grade curriculum. We actually already purchased it and she has already started it. I will definitely be posting a video in the coming weeks of an unboxing, flip through preview of Happy Cheetah Reading first grade. I would definitely recommend this reading program to you if you are just starting out teaching your child to read, if you have a struggling reader, and if you are just looking for an all-in-one language arts curriculum for children, kindergarten, first grade, or second grade, I would definitely tell you to check out Happy Cheetah Reading. All right, guys, well, that wraps things up for today. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, please take a second, give it a thumbs up, like it down below. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and leave me a comment. Tell me if you have used Happy Cheetah Reading or if you're interested in using it, and if not, what phonics program you are using. I would love to hear about it. I hope that you guys are enjoying your school year. See you later.